The U.S. East and Gulf Coast dock workers went on strike this week, impacting half of the nation's ocean shipping due to a labor contract dispute over wages and, you guessed it, automation. This strike potentially costs $5 billion daily, affects 36 ports, and raises concerns about economic impact, inflation, and job security. Major shipping firms involved in the International Longshoremen's Association strike, like Maersk and Cosco, not the Costco that you buy your paper towels, but the other one, have spent billions on stock buybacks, prioritizing investor returns.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Two guys who were nowhere near Tiananmen Square in 1989. Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel, eating the cats, Cheeseman.
This is Chad. Resume databases are back. So wash.
And on this episode, is AI's impact on jobs overhyped? ZipRecruiter and Dice look to innovate their way out of the abyss, and why it's a perfect time to start poaching Amazon employees. Let's do this.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
I gotta wear this for the boys since I didn't bring it to I didn't bring it to my Kiora hat, kids. If you're watching audio, I got the Kiora hat that I didn't bring to HR Tech. I said I would, but yeah, it didn't make the packing list.
They had the coordinating shirts, and they're taking the branding to a whole different level. That's right. Our new
Lululemon shirt.
Shout out sponsor making text recruiting easy. That's Kiora. As we're settling in after our HR Tech hangovers, being in Vegas. I think I'm back to normal. How about you, Chad?
Oh, I'm good, dude. I'm a big fan of understanding that it is not a sprint; it's a marathon. And watching some of these kids, even guys our age, fucking sprint the first night. It's like, nope, not gonna do that. I got work to do. I got things to do. Right. So yeah, no, I'm all good. I'm all good.
So I had a bit of an epiphany at HR Tech. I know you know this. The listeners don't. So the second night, I think we're both fairly tired. I think I message you and I say, or you message me and say you're going out to the parties, and I say like that's the plan. And then you're like, Julie's feeling somewhat not great. We'll see what happens. I lay down, I close my eyes, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a little power nap and get up. I don't wake up till 10:45. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm in for the night. So I just turn everything off and go to bed, and I track my sleep. And I showed you like how good my sleep was. I have these rings, and if they are green, it's awesome. If it's blue, it's like you're in another zone. And I had one blue and then the rest green. So there's something to be said for a good night's sleep when you're traveling on the road, for sure. I don't know if it'll be
not easy to get.
It could be. I'm understanding why Jerry Crispin, for so many years, would just. Did you ever go to one of his dinners?
No.
Okay, so he would have these dinners, and he would invite, I don't know, 5 to 10 people, and that was his thing. And he would interact with different people. But like, I'm quickly learning why Jerry did that. We're getting in that, like 20 years ago, Jerry, 10, like we're like, it's more appealing to me to have a nice dinner and some good drinks and conversation than it is yelling at everybody, trying to like engage with people.
And there's a good amount of yelling. Yes.
I'm beyond that. Call me old.
Even in the expo hall.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me you're old without telling me that you're old. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's get to that. Let's get to shout outs. Okay. You have some stuff from HR Tech that you didn't get to last week that I think you want to talk about. All the good.
Yeah. Well, right out of the gate, shout out to HireRoad.com. We were handing out free beer, thanks to Hire Road in Vegas last week. And we obviously overperformed because we ran out of beer in less than 30 minutes. So it's winning. Always great to catch up with friends over beer. And when you're giving away free beer, you have more friends than you originally thought you did. So that was fun. And then last but not least, big, incredibly large, humongous shout out to Lynn Bailey, Rebecca Carr, Kaylee Bateman, and the whole crew at the Smart Recruiters booth for making sure that we had a comfy couch, chairs, a beer fridge, plus VIP tickets to the Skyfall Lounge pretty much all week. And I got a new Aura ring. So I'm trying this out again.
For the kids that don't know, what is an Aura ring, Chad? Not to be confused with
pretty
the
much
Aura
one of those,
penis ring.
Yeah. Do they have one of those?
Which is a whole new market that they should go after, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the Apple Watch, it's got the health piece. Any of the wearables these days are really focused on the health side. The Aura Ring, which you can see if you're watching on if you're watching on YouTube, it's simply just one of those. It's just a ring instead of a watch.
Yeah, I love it.
It's pretty cool.
And I found out that I have a career as a beer guy at a stadium near you. I got the cold beer here, I think, down pat because of the free beer giveaway. Yep. My shout out, bringing back to the industry, goes out to Courtney Summer Myers. Now, who the hell is Courtney Summer Myers? Well, laid off twice. Courtney Summer Myers is a 28-year-old graphic designer in the UK who openly declared her job hunt on LinkedIn with a hashtag desperate banner around her profile picture. Now, you've seen on LinkedIn the open to work as well as the hiring banner. No. Yep. Courtney said, I'm making my own. She's a graphic designer, so she knows the sizing and how to get everything right. Oh, yeah. She challenges the stigma of needing work and sparking both support as well as criticism, as you can imagine, on LinkedIn. Now, as of this recording, checking out her LinkedIn profile, she has yet to find a job. So even though all this attention is going on with her, she hasn't found a job. People are torn by this whole badge thing on LinkedIn. I'm a little confused why everyone's so up in arms on this. If she wants to make a different kind of custom thing, I say more power to you. Hashtag desperate. It could happen. It could be a thing. I say LinkedIn, that could be the most innovative thing that you've done in the last 6 months. Create a new desperate banner for the people that are really unemployed and really looking for jobs. Shout out to Courtney Summer Myers.
Shout out.
Chad, we've been told that we have a face for podcasting.
Yeah, speak for yourself, man. One thing that I do know, and I just got this from the analytics department over at YouTube and Sergey, our video guy, 80% of the people who actually watch our videos are loyal watchers. They're back, right? They don't hit the subscribe button. So, hey kids, hit the subscribe button. Tell them why, Joel.
Let's be honest. They're not. There's some degenerates listening to the show on a regular basis. But yes, I think if you're not tuned into us on YouTube, you're missing some exclusives that you can't get on the show. You're getting outfits that I don't normally wear on the show, or does Chad. Euro Chad, you can't really appreciate Euro Chad unless you see Chad. The voice doesn't really come out. You get to see me in glamorous locations. Like right now, I'm in Canada visiting the in-laws. If you couldn't tell, I'm in a Canadian state of mind. So you're missing out on a lot if you're not watching us on YouTube and just listening to us on your favorite podcast platform of choice.
And real quick, I mean, you were talking about LinkedIn. Last week, I think you talked about the video feed and how you like the video feed. And I was messaging with Joel Alge. He does a shit ton of video, and a couple of his came up, and I was like, how are you getting your videos in those feeds? And he's like, I have no clue. But when they do get into the feed, they get some major attention. The big issue is you can't interact with the video. So like on TikTok, you can interact with the video, you can thumbs up, you can make a comment, that kind of thing. It doesn't seem, at least mobile version, to be able to allow for that. So looks like we're still early stages, and LinkedIn still hasn't figured the shit out yet.
That is interesting. So Joel isn't uploading his videos to LinkedIn, and somehow they are. So they're contracting with somebody.
No, he's uploading them to LinkedIn just in the regular feed, but yet LinkedIn is not pulling over all the videos that are being uploaded into the feed. Because he said, if you get a video uploaded to that feed, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of views. Yeah. Because they aren't taking them all. So I don't know what they're doing to choose to pick and choose which videos to use or not to use.
The mysterious algorithm that is LinkedIn.
Trying to figure it out.
Well, speaking of videos, Chad, I was immensely overwhelmed by an unboxing video of our T-shirt. Now, I'm sure you've seen his if you have kids, they're unboxing toys. If you're a shoe geek, they're like unboxing. Unboxing is a big thing with the Gen Z and the millennials. And I never thought that Chad and Cheese would be the focal point of an unboxing. So a big, big, big shout out goes to Gia Johnston, who's now maybe in the pole position as our best fan, biggest fanatic. She did an unboxing. Let's take a look at this. If you're listening to this, you'll have to check out YouTube for this, but our YouTube listeners will see this.
All right. Hey, guys. I thought I would do a opening of this. Which, if you ever get this on your front porch or in your mailbox, you know it's something good. So here we go.
I love the tat sleeve. I love the sleeve.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Highly recommend you do. And you gotta love it. The Chad and Cheese podcast. Here you go. Love the note. It says, yo, here's a t-shirt for being a loyal listener and a super fan of the Chad and the Cheese podcast. Now what? Share a pic on LinkedIn, tell a friend, and drop us a review. Of course. Here you guys go. Check them out if you're in HR or talent acquisition, or you're just looking for a raw, real podcast about HR. These guys are it.
There it is. That's the money shot. There it is, cool. Gia. There it is, Gia.
Love it. Employee referrals are out of this world. Okay.
Ooh, a little Aaron love, too.
Well, guys, if that doesn't sell you on it, go do it. Chad and Cheese, love your podcast.
Oh, and we love you, Gia. Are you kidding me? That is awesome. No. That is awesome.
Did we just become best friends?
And I'm so glad we got the branded bags and the I'm so glad that was so awesome.
Baller.
Thank you, Gia.
That
made my week.
That was baller.
That made my
That
week.
was baller.
So
Very
free shit is out there to be had, Chad. You don't have to unbox it. You can get a t-shirt just like that. Tell them how they can do that.
It's very simple, kids. And this isn't just about having a t-shirt. We also give away free craft beer from Aspen Tech Labs, free whiskey, 2 bottles from Tex Colonel / you might know him as Bullhorn. And then if it's your birthday, you might get some rum from Plum if you go to chadcheese.com/free. That's right, because it's free. It's all free. Yeah.
I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plum.
Love it.
That's right. By the way, you forgot to mention Kiora giving away Pappy aged bourbon barrel syrup from the fine country of Canada. So let's get to our birthday roundup. These are listeners that are celebrating another trip around the sun. That goes to Sean Luchins, Valerie Doyle, Caitlin Grady, Ryan McGrath, George Dobbin, George out in Scotland, I hope he's listening, Kevin Grossman, Ling Wu, Chuck Genuardi, Leah McGuire, Brett Farmelo, Andrea Durla, Carla Kruck, Matt Neeson, John Lawton, Brandon Luzier, Sarah Fell, Casey Dockendorf, my sister-in-law, Allison Holbrook, and our favorite Belgian. That's right. The true muscles from Brussels. Leaving House of HR, celebrating another trip around the sun. So happy birthday to everybody.
I love it. Can't wait to see leaving again. I can't wait to go back to House of HR and the e-recruiting conference whenever they choose to have that again. But hopefully it'll be in Amsterdam. But as we're talking about events, Shaker Recruitment Marketing, just so you know, kids, powers the Chad and Cheese travel. Next week, we're in Scottsdale for 2 of Paradox's client boards. And I love these events because they are talent acquisition practitioners, very heavy talent acquisition practitioner.
So heavy.
We're going to be filming season 2 of maybe 3 of the AI sessions. Now, kids, if you have not seen the AI sessions, run, don't walk to thesessions.ai. That's right. Open up a browser, type in thesessions.ai, where you can watch season 1 of the AI sessions, which is an 11 episode miniseries, and every episode is about 10 minutes long or so. So yes, it's snackable bites of AI with friends like Eileen Kowalski from General Motors. Then we're heading to Nolans. That's right, New Orleans, for Outsolve's brand spanking new conference called HR Gumbo. One of my favorite places to eat food in the United States is New Orleans. This looks like a pretty damn cool event. We're going to be at the World War II Museum one night. We're going to be at a rooftop another night. And the thing I love about this is they brought in Chad and Cheese to make compliance cool. We're going to talk about AI, and we talk about compliance. Our friend Keith Sonderling's going to be there because you can't make compliance cool without a guy who can wear a suit and still rock it and look cool himself. So we're looking forward to being there for all of these events. You can go to chadcheese.com/events to register, unless it's the Paradox event. You got to be a VIP to get to that one. Outsolve, I think there's still some seats left. So if you want to go to New Orleans, you want to see some Chad and Cheese, you want to talk about AI and compliance, go to chadcheese.com/events. Register today.
That's right. Not to be confused with the HR Etouffee conference going on the week after that. I have not been to the World War II Museum, which apparently is amazing. Have you been there yet?
Oh, dude. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Definitely making time for that.
It is amazing. It's got the two fronts. So you go in one area and it's got the European front, and then you go into an entirely different experience for the Pacific front. It is amazing.
How much time should I set aside for it?
It depends on how long you want to take, but I would say probably 3 to 4 hours.
Okay. So about as long as I take to set my fantasy draft every week, which, by the way, Chad, brings us to fantasy football with our friends at factoryfix.com. Here's your leaderboard, a leaderboard that you may not be too happy to hear. Number 1, Action Jackson Dahlquist in the top position. Number 2, Adam Gordon Ramsay. That's right. The man who auto-drafted and knows nothing about American football is in the 2 spot. Your boy, it's all Gouda right here, Joel Cheeseman in 3 spot. David, don't call me Goliath Stifle at 4. Dean, the Daddy Mackerel, the Australian, the Mac Daddy from Down Under, number 5. Keith, you mentioned him, Sonderling. Keith, the commish Sonderling, number 6. Laura Liza Martinelli. Dina Porno for Perro. Jennifer Terry Tharp Aniston. Number 10, Chad thought he was drafting Ronaldo Sowash, followed by Sean Horton Here's a Who. And number 12, at the caboose, Christy Nome Lisbon is in the last place.
Factory
spot.
Fix, baby. Thanks so much.
Fantasy football roundup as we head into week 4. By the way, I'm facing Adam this week, so my pride is on the line if I lose to a Scott who knows jack about American football. I don't know if I can show my face. I may be blacked out on next week's show if I lose to Adam Gordon. Jesus Christ. Well, let's get to some news, shall we?
Topics!
Oh, the world is a fun place these days, isn't it, Chad? Well, AI is in the news. Imagine that. OpenAI concluded a funding round at a $157 billion valuation, raising $6.6 billion, led by Thrive Capital, with participation from Microsoft, NVIDIA, and other names that you probably know. The company expects to bring in $11.6 billion in sales next year That's up from just 3.7 billion in 2024. However, Chad, throw some cold water on this puppy. One MIT professor isn't so optimistic. By his calculation, only a small percentage of all jobs, what he says is a mere 5%, is ripe to be taken over or at least heavily aided by AI over the next decade, expecting a big bubble to burst. Chad, where are you on the side of these opposing viewpoints?
Yeah, I don't think there's a bubble that's going to burst. But let's just, Guy Smart's from MIT. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a workforce economist. At the end of the day, though, remember that earlier this year, OpenAI was valued at a reported $80 billion, up from the $29 billion from 2023, from last year. Now, today, $157 billion valuation. There are 11 million ChatGPT Plus subscribers, 1 million paying business users on ChatGPT. Revenue last month up 1,700%. And yet OpenAI expects to lose roughly $5 billion this year on a revenue of $3.7 billion. So this to me feels a lot like social media in the early years. LinkedIn first came out. It was new because it was slanted toward professionals instead of just friends, like Friendster, MySpace, Classmates.com, and even Facebook, who at one time wasn't open to the public. You needed a university email address to actually join Facebook. There were so many flavors, and yet only LinkedIn and Facebook have survived the early social media wars. Now, I love using ChatGPT, but I kind of feel like OpenAI is the Friendster or MySpace of AI right now. And big question is, why do I feel this way? Well, Microsoft Windows is the most widely used operating system for computers, with a market share of about 72% as of February of this year. According to Statistica, about 56% of organizations worldwide use Microsoft Azure for cloud services, and their 2023 revenues for just Microsoft Cloud was $64.7 billion. Google retains an 82% share of global search market and 11% of cloud infrastructure market. Google's cloud revenue is $33.1 billion in 2023. Now, the last big boy, Amazon Web Services, had 31% of the cloud infrastructure market and which generated $91 billion globally. Microsoft, Google, and Amazon have the power to keep little OpenAI in their sights, watching from close or afar, whether you're Microsoft or Amazon, while building the next evolution of cloud services that will be baked into everything. Because where is all the AI needed? In our operating systems, in our cloud services, in our everyday platforms. So these companies, not OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they've built rails and they're playing major league. They're playing at the major league level while OpenAI is still playing small ball. So when OpenAI is baked, when AI, not OpenAI, but when AI is baked into all of these other areas, we're not going to have a use for OpenAI anymore. So for me, it's an interesting chess move from all of these companies because they're looking at infrastructure where OpenAI is looking for subscribers.
Opposing views. Gotta love it.
The time it works every time.
So I got a quick message for Mr. MIT. Okay. I'm hard pressed to think about a company in any sector who isn't thinking about how do we reduce our headcount. Unless you're talking about like real service stuff like In-N-Out or hospital, like almost every business on the planet is thinking about how do we automate ourselves into less headcount, into less headaches with people, which will lead us to our dock worker story in a little bit. So like if you have the recipe of every company on the planet just about is trying to figure out how do we have less people do this work, and you have our friend Courtney in my shout outs, tell her that AI isn't impacting her ability to get a job. Yep. Every image that you and I put on for shows now is us hacking around on DALL-E or whatever to create an image of whatever it is, right? We don't have to pay a designer to do it. We don't that is so easy for us. And we're not the only ones, I promise you. Like the need for designers like Courtney is being reduced because of AI. We're going to talk about the dock workers in a little bit on the show. Every sign that they hold up is fight automation, like fight the robots, like push back on automation. That's another business that's being impacted. So for me to I don't know if someone at MIT is so removed from real life that they think about this in very different terms than I do. But looking on the ground and seeing just what we do in our business, AI is impacting so much, and everybody's trying to figure out how to do it. So I think that dude is totally off the rails, and I'm not falling for his banana in my tailpipe. So moving on to OpenAI. Very interesting. Your perspective is interesting. I think more about the Netscape days. So if you're an early internet user, AOL sucked ass. It was awful. And then Netscape came around and you're like, this is amazing. This is kind of fast. I can go to where I want. And then Microsoft came and basically suffocated it with every computer you bought had Internet Explorer or whatever it was called at the time. And then now Google launches Chrome and Safari. So you have that sort of been commoditized. I don't know if AI will go on a significantly different path or not. I am a little bit troubled by the recent exodus of a lot of executives at the company. And I don't know if that's, Sam was ousted and then Peter Thiel made a call and said, I don't think so. And Sam comes back and now everyone who maybe wanted him gone is like, I'm out of here. So there's some internal stuff going on at OpenAI that we probably don't appreciate, but is probably going to be a long-term issue with them if they want to come out of this. They're probably going to go public at some point. And when they go public, they're going to have to open the kimono a little bit. What are we doing? Where's growth? And then what's our revenue? That's going to sort of put them under a microscope. I do believe that if I'm Google, Amazon, all the companies that you named, I have rails and customers and distribution channels that OpenAI does not. What Meta is doing with smart glasses is really interesting, and their AI is built into that. So where we're going in the world is very interesting. Is OpenAI the next Netscape? Is it the next AOL? Is it the next Friendster, MySpace? History says yes. History says yes. That
OpenAI, or are you talking about just AI specifically? Because that's different. As
a business, OpenAI, AI is going to happen. I have no doubt.
It's already happening. What I'm saying, though, is Google has their own AI, Amazon has their own AI, Microsoft has their own AI, which is different than OpenAI. And those three companies will smother OpenAI or buy them. And then they will be AI is going to be baked into everything, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Does it get commoditized like email and the browser?
Easily.
And
data is the new gold.
Sure. Now, Sam and Johnny Ive of Apple fame are apparently working on some device that's an OpenAI ChatGPT thing. That may be a total different thing that takes off. At the end of the day, if you have a podcast, it's going to be fun to talk about and fun to watch, and technology and how this impacts the world of work. It's very. They have a much bigger cannon to fight some of the forces that you're talking about with the kind of money that they've been given by some big players. But speaking of not so big players, let's go to Zip and Dice. Can I interest you in that? All right, they were in the news this week. Who's ready for some mind-blowing innovation after listening to the OpenAI stuff? ZipRecruiter has launched an enhanced resume database offering employers advanced search tools, instant candidate contact access, and workflow management that promises to expedite the hiring process. But wait, Chad, there's more. Facing competition from programmatic advertising, tech job board Dice has revamped its strategy to include all tech jobs, enhancing visibility and job quality while addressing market share loss and adapting to AI in hiring processes. Chad, your thoughts on news out of Zip and Dice, which, by the way, sounds like a crime-fighting duo from the 1970s. Next on Zip and Dice, they take the mob on directly. Your thoughts?
Zip and Dice. Let's hit Dice real quick. So, Paul Farnsworth, the DHI CTO, said the mistake we made was we wanted to be the go-to website for technologists in their careers, which means we needed all the jobs, but held back for fear of diluting the roles that our job seekers only saw through us, end quote. So, Paul, buddy, people want options. Okay. Did you not see how Indeed won the general job board wars? They used all the other job boards content against them and became, quote unquote, the Google for Jobs until Google launched Google for Jobs. This is also short-term thinking. Staffing didn't want the entry-level developer, so Dice focused on job postings for mid-level and higher. The problem is today's entry-level developer is tomorrow's rockstar developer. You box them out and they create communities elsewhere like HackerRank, Stack Overflow, GitHub, Hack-A-Job. Dice focused way too heavy on staffing and they missed the much wider total addressable market and strategic long play. So Dice should have integrated hacking challenges and skills development into their systems decades ago. But much like Monster and Crew Builder, they got fat, they got lazy, they got Art the Dart, and they got passed over by other providers. So just from a Dice side of the house, that's what I saw.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
What was ZipRecruiter at HR Tech? I might have missed that.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Dice at HR Tech? No. Okay. Was Monster?
I don't think so. Yeah. No. I mean,
which is very tough. Look, I want to check in real quick on our friends at ZipRecruiter. I've badmouthed their podcast. You know, I waste of time. What's the point? And I disrespected them on the number of reviews and like engagement that they had. As of this recording, they have 16 reviews, Chad. That's right, 16 after being 2 months into this thing. And by the way, I'll mention this again. They have about 1,500 employees that they could send a group chat out to and say, hey, can you review our podcast with our CEO that's on it or president or whatever. So I want to check in with that. Both of these companies, their stock price year to date is down 30+%. Dice is actually down quite a bit since this article came out from our friends at AIM. What really shocks me, can ZipRecruiter not get a decent brand to endorse their shit? Do you know who if you go look at their new resume stuff, you know who the company is that is the testimonial?
I have no clue.
Yeah. You think it'd be like, I don't know, could we get a Chipotle? Could we get like somebody that somebody knows? The company that is their testimonial is Butler America. Butler America. Do you know Butler America, Chad? Have you been like to a Butler America store or bought from Butler America?
What the fuck it is? Nope.
No. So they're launching a new product, and their testimonial after being in business as long as they have, with as many clients as they have, is Butler America. In all seriousness, though, the stuff they mention has been done. Like why they're wrapping this pig in some lipstick that says this is innovation and this is new stuff, like, is ridiculous. What Zip needs to do, and maybe Dice on a lesser extent, is take a page out of the Bullhorn playbook. Okay. Build a marketplace on ZipRecruiter. Instead of wasting your time on whatever this shit is, build a marketplace that startups, that everyone that was at HR Tech, because you weren't, can build stuff on your platform that then your clients can access and use, and then you'll get like the next startup.
It's too late. It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late. Hail Mary.
What you're talking about right now?
But I'd be much more excited about ZipRecruiter. If ZipRecruiter said we're launching a marketplace and here are 10 partners that we're launching the marketplace with, I'd be much more interested than we have new search features.
75% of the marketplaces that are out there are worthless. 75% of the marketplaces out there are fucking worthless. They don't have
apps in the marketplace, or the marketplace is worthless?
Just the marketplace and how the company uses the marketplace. They're worthless. In ZipRecruiter's standpoint, so this is not a new product. I mean, are you kidding me right now? The market needs a supercar. Fast, sporty, something that gets the job done fast, right? ZipRecruiter gives us a Model A, and all they did was change the fucking windshield wiper blades. Seriously, What's going on over there is Online Career Center, Monster Board, eSpan, Career Mosaic, Headhunter.net, all 1990s job board shit. Monster.com bought Trovix in 2008. And soon after that, they released 6 Cent Search, which is this. ZipRecruiter, if you're listening, it's very fucking simple. Stop the insanity. The market doesn't need an easy to search resume database. The market needs you to ingest the job description, apply the requirements to your database of candidates, automatically surface those candidates while inviting them to, I don't know, actually apply for those jobs. Once someone applies for the jobs, ask a few screening questions. If they pass the screening questions, go ahead and schedule them for an interview, or depending on the job, go ahead and offer them a goddamn job. The thing is, what you're asking for, no, they don't have time for that shit. They've got to do the basics right, and they're not even getting the basics right. That is playing fucking PhD level chess when they aren't even playing checkers right now.
I'll go you one better. They should just have Apollo on speed dial and be like, what do we need to do to get a deal done? What do you need from us to get you to write a check, and we can be done with this whole thing, and we can join the Career Builder, Monster, ZipRecruiter, whatever year of efficiency, and we can all get the hell out of this game. Going back to Dice, what I did find interesting from the story and the comment, I think from the CFO that they interviewed, is that with AI, language barriers are being broken down. In other words, there are so many Indian developers, and there may be lack of English, or like there's nuance there that they don't get that AI can solve. So if you have all these conversations with developers and employers, and it's totally English the way that you think it is, and like that language barrier is cut down, does that reduce the, like, is there not a premium on like native English speaking programmers, because everyone sounds the same? It doesn't matter. And I can even not speak English, and we can have a conversation about development that goes away. I think that could be a huge deflationary development if that takes hold. That was something that I thought was interesting from the interview.
It's not interesting. Everybody has it. The thing is, Dice is talking about a technology that everybody's going to have access to. What they didn't have access to, and Dice has squandered, is building a community in technology. Again, AI, commodity, data, not the commodity. That's the gold. They have squandered the gold, and now they're focusing, and this is a fucking bullshit diversion. They've got nothing. They've screwed themselves over. They're the monster and career builder that we all know and used to love, and they're now merging and dying very slow deaths. Same thing's happening with Dice. The CTO is talking about where they fucked up. I got it. But everything that you're talking about around language barrier, everybody has access to that. So I don't understand. Why should I be excited about Dice?
Not necessarily Dice, but the trend of the barrier of language being torn down, I think is interesting. That's all.
Everybody has it.
I don't have it.
Yeah, you do.
What are we in week 6 now of American Chad back in the saddle? He's going back to Europe at the end of October, everybody. So he'll be in a much better mood. Well, let's take a breather, and we'll come back to a topic that Chad will not get excited about: unions.
I'm sure.
Are you looking to boost your job ads performance? And are you looking to empower your recruiters to connect with your candidates at a much deeper level? Well, video is the best way. Collecting authentic video content from your employees, talking about why they love working for your company and why they've been there for X amount of years, absolutely skyrocket your metrics, such as your application rates, improving your SEO, driving more traffic to your career site, and even attracting better candidates that are sick and tired of the good old job ad jargon that they see out there in the world. JobPixel is trusted by some of the top companies in the world, such as Cognizant, US Cellular, Boston Medical Center, Arkansas Children's Hospital, and many more. Reach out to our team today to get a custom business case showing you how to improve your metrics at a level you've never seen before. We can't wait to show you what video can do. Thanks.
right, Chad, a story that's been, I don't know, really big on the news station, the mainstream media. The U.S. and
should be.
The U.S. East and Gulf Coast dock workers went on strike this week, impacting half of the nation's ocean shipping due to a labor contract dispute over wages and, you guessed it, automation. This strike potentially costs $5 billion daily, affects 36 ports, and raises concerns about economic impact, inflation, and job security. But wait, there's more. There's more. A recent government watchdog report has revealed that major shipping firms involved in the International Longshoremen's Association strike, like Maersk and Cosco, not the Costco that you buy your paper towels, but the other one, have spent billions on stock buybacks, prioritizing investor returns over salary and wage increases for striking dock workers seeking better pay and job security. Guessing you have some thoughts on this news item, Chad. Go.
Yeah, I mean, pay the people, for God's sakes. It's fairly simple. In this case, if Maersk, instead of using 6.5 billion with the B kids for stock buybacks, they could have maybe used half of that to pay their people better. Now, and I like billionaire Nick Hanauer's simple description of why giving the money to the rich is bad for America. It's bad for capitalism. So a billionaire receives money from stock buybacks. He wants to go out and buy another car, maybe two. With that money, the rest of it goes into a banker portfolio. So the lion's share doesn't go into the economy. Instead, Maersk could have chosen to use the same money, or half of it, to raise workers' pay. And then the results could have ended up in down payments on hundreds, maybe thousands of cars and trucks. So what makes more impact on the economy? Buying a couple of Ferraris or hundreds of Ford F-150s? It's easy, the latter. Plus, remember, for all you listeners out there, that's what capitalism is. Giving people the money they need to pay their bills. Number one, that's a good start. But to buy more stuff. We're a buying economy. It's hard for people to buy shit if they don't get the fucking money. So we need to raise wages. So especially for the people who are doing the hard work. So that's, to me, is very easy. Everything I've just described is capitalism. Getting the people who are doing the hard work the money, so that money goes back into the economy. Again, that's capitalism. It's what we should be doing. We should be focusing on that. We have become incredibly imbalanced with regard to where the money's going. And that's over from decades of trickle down / supply side economics.
This is not a bunch of baristas unionizing and going after a coffee company. This is this would be akin, and you and I are too young even to sort of comment on this, but the strike in the 80s with the air traffic controllers. Reagan.
Yeah.
So this is something that is going to impact everybody. If shit can't get into the country from the East Coast and the Gulf, you better stock up on toilet paper now, as I did yesterday, by the way, talk about going to Costco, different Costco. Europe is going to feel the pain because they can't send they can't send French wine and Lamborghinis to the States or whatever comes over from there. While America doesn't send a ton of stuff out, it's going to hurt farmers because agriculture, like we do feed a lot of the world still, and those goods have to go out. That's going to be really interesting. I think Mexico is going to be in a pole position to long term be more of a player in where we're going. But this is a Netflix series waiting to happen. We're talking global impact. We're talking president, because the president doesn't want to look anti-union, but they also know they need to do something about this. The companies, if you're looking for a way to regulate companies to stop shit like this, regulate companies and say, look, if you do a stock buyback, you're not getting government contracts or federal contracts, or Maersk, I think, is a Norwegian company. I mean, I think they're over in Europe. So do you put tariffs on companies that pay shareholders as opposed to paying workers? There's a whole political layer of this that's interesting. But to me, the most interesting Harold Daggett. Harold Daggett is like Tony Soprano. He makes your UAW guy look like, a Boy Scout. I want to play a video of him. If you haven't seen him, a little context. He makes a ton of money. He has a mansion with like a Bentley. Reports have been done about he's got to have mob ties for sure. He is a badass motherfucker, and he will cut a bitch if not shoot a dude. So listen to what Harold Daggett says about the current state of the negotiations.
You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
He needs to take some lessons from Sean Fain. Everything that he says is don't get me wrong, is true, but there needs to be Sean Fain is direct, right? But there is some diplomacy that's happening there. Not talking about crippling anybody, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, he's right. And for these people not to get fair wages when you're seeing, I mean, they worked during COVID. Not only did they work during a fucking pandemic, they didn't take pay raises when the company was getting fucking record profits. I mean, just blowing profits out of the water, enough to obviously spend billions of dollars on stock buyback. So, I mean, it's only fair to these workers. And again, as I'd said before, from a capitalism standpoint, then that money juices the economy. It's all good for us. I don't know why people are so pissy about people actually getting paid fairly for doing hard work.
Yeah. One of the challenges with the UAW side is there are other car companies that you can buy cars. This is an instance where if shit doesn't get through, like it's brutal. It's brutal. All right, real quick, because we're getting kind of wordy this week. A new survey by Blind shows that 73% of Amazon employees are considering leaving due to the new 5-day workweek policy starting in January of 25, highlighting significant dissatisfaction and potential turnover, especially among senior staff. Another 80% said they know someone who is already looking for another job because of the new policy, while 32% said they know someone who has quit because of it. Chad, shit's getting deep at Amazon. What are your thoughts on these numbers in this poll from Blind?
Well, there's definitely some reports saying that this is literally just trying to push people out, so this is kind of like a forced layoff without having to pay the severance. But if that's the case, do you think Amazon thought nearly 75% of staff would eject? I don't think so. So Amazon's woes, where they are burning through entire populations of warehouse workers and are also losing billions of dollars in revenue because they don't have the people in the warehouses to do the job, will now be shifting over into the Amazon office space. Amazon is really good at technology. What they're really bad at is people and being human. And this could shock Amazon very quickly.
Yeah. So, when Trump won the election in 2016 and probably 75% of Democrats at least said they're moving to Canada if Trump gets elected. This reminds me of that. Of course, the number of people that actually did move to Canada was probably in single digits. A lot of people were just venting. A lot of people were mad, which is what they do on Blind, by the way. They vent. It's kind of anonymous. Like, I can talk shit. I don't think we're anywhere near 70% of Amazon losing that many people. It does show dissatisfaction with, like, we don't want to go back to the way it was, and they are going to lose people for it. Maybe they can pick up all the OpenAI people that are leaving the executive suite over there. But yeah, Amazon has an issue. They want to automate as quickly as possible. The C-suite, like, being disgruntled. Maybe it is partly they want to get rid of people because they're getting rid of people anyway with automation and robotics. And maybe this is part of that strategy. I don't know, but shit's kind of weird at Amazon right now.
I look back at the warehouse situation. They're losing $8 billion in revenue because they're fucking up the human piece. I don't see this as anything different.
Yeah. I mean, remember the story about technology, like, we won't need coders. So maybe part of this is like, well, if we lose 20% of the coders, well, they were going to go away anyway because we're displacing them from automation.
We will find out.
Well, let's take a quick break and let's do a pivot and talk about condoms.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
Man, when's the last time you used a condom? I was just thinking about that. It's been fucking decades.
That's really personal, Chad. I was single for a while about 10 years ago. So I would say I'm at least maybe close to a decade plus.
Very responsible.
As a fixed married man, I have not been acquainted with condoms in quite a while. Anyway, condom usage in the U.S. is declining, particularly among teens and young adults, due to advancements in long-term birth control and STI, or what I was educated as STD. Anyway, STI prevention drugs, reduced fear of HIV, and varied sex education. College-aged women said that young men discourage condom usage and are often insulted by the implication that they might have an STI. Chad, raw dogging is apparently in with the kids. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we were scared shitless as kids because of HIV, right? I mean, getting a girl pregnant, that was, you scared shit about that. But I mean, definitely dying from having sex. A lot of those things that you just said, they're going by the wayside. You've got different methods of birth control. Hopefully those stick around, and we don't have, we could prospectively push a national, regulation where states can't take that away. But from a condom standpoint, the use, especially for boys, young men, the most irresponsible of our population are young, dumb, full of cum kids. And that is, so they're not good. If there's no little prospect of pregnancy or STD / HIV, they're not wearing that shit. Irresponsible as hell.
Doesn't anyone notice this?
Indestructible.
Crazy pills.
Gen X, the only generation that became 30 at the age of 10 and is still 30 at the age of 50. It sucked for us, dude. Everything killed you. Drugs killed you. Sex killed you. Twisted Sister lyrics were going to kill you. Driving was going to, everything you did was going to kill you. And as a result, we either didn't do anything or like was super careful. Like the Lynn biased cocaine death was just when I was at that age, like drugs kill you. So like drugs was something I never touched because I thought it really would kill me. The AIDS thing, I don't have much to say about this other than wrap that shit up, dude. There is a lot that can go wrong, even if she's on the pill, or we have medicine for this shit. Like, be smart, which is not where I went when I thought about this week's dad jokes, Chad. No, didn't.
Be smart.
Didn't think about precaution on this one. All right, let's have a little 80s vibe with this week. What do Yoko Ono and Ethiopians have in common? What do Yoko Ono and Ethiopians have in common?
They both had beetles in their mouth?
They both live off dead beetles. What did Spock find in the toilet? What did Spock find in the toilet?
I don't know. I'm not a toilet joke guy. Go ahead.
The captain's log. The captain's log. All right, let's end on this. What's the opposite of Christopher Reeve? What's the opposite of Christopher Reeve?
I don't know.
This one's bad. Christopher Walken. Oh, I'm going straight to hell for that one. We out.
We out. Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper jack. Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!